Welcome to the beer show. We're back. We got another thrilling episode. Minifan Kim Jong-un, Kirk's Desk, Medium Poppy, Inspector J, all joining me today. All right, guys, what do we got? Who's drinking? Minifan Kim Jong-un. What are you doing?
Well, today is the first time the Patriots have played in Seattle since 2012. So I cracked the 16th anniversary ale from Firestone from 2012. I really, really like it. The one thing I thought was interesting, and I was saying this before we started this, was it's 8% PNC. It's a blended ale. For those who don't know, they take a lot of their barrel aged beers and they put it into one beer at the end of the year. It has a lot of tequila taste to it after 8 years, and that was actually one of the smallest percentage of beers that they put in this. The PNC that was a buckwheat stout aged in tequila barrels, so it's good. I like it a lot. It's just surprising that 8% of the beer was a barrel aged tequila, but it's pretty potent after 8 years. I like it a lot.
Nice. Yeah, they put the show. Do you have that paper in front of you? They do like percentages of. Yeah, so if anyone's ever seen this, what's this? They'll do they have 5 or 6 different beers. It'll be 25% of this one, and you were saying it was 10% of the tequila beer.
It's Velvet American was 23, Sticky Monkey 22, DDBA was 20, Parabola 10, PNC, which was the buckwheat and tequila 8.1, Eldorado 5, Bravo 5, Wookie Jack 4, and a lot of these beers I don't even make anymore.
I was gonna say, have you tried a lot of those? I've tried most of them.
I've tried every single one of those, but I'm just surprised because they don't even make at least a quarter of those beers anymore.
I think the DBA is pretty underwhelming. The double DBA.
That's probably the least favorite of mine out of all of their barrel aged beers that they've ever done.
Sure, Mr. Desk, what are you sipping on?
Yeah, I am going today with a 4 quarters from Vermont. It's called the Great Bear. So it's a brown ale, which they're not that popular at this point, right? But this is pretty tasty. It's a little smoke, a lot of chocolate in it, and they say it's a oatmeal brown ale as well. But the chocolate really comes through, and just kind of made me think about my desire to get back to Vermont.
Yes, which we'll bring up later because honestly, Vermont's one of my favorite spots.
Excellent.
Inspector J, besides the fiber powder, what else is mixed into your drink today?
So I have the ducky sauce from Vitamin C in Weymouth. The artwork is by Kiever. I think Poppy said Kiever does all the artwork for Treehouse.
Yes, sir, he does.
And another brewery. I'd have to look it up. But definitely one more.
Definitely one more. I forgot the name, but definitely one more.
Yeah.
So I just so this is an oated malt, they say, paired with BRU-1 and Matuka hops.
Yeah, that BRU-1 is kind of an experimental hop. I think just came out last year or the year before. They usually have weird names until they're actually consistent.
Yeah, isn't there a yeast that starts with BRU? Yeah, I forget what it's called. But anyways, it's good. Vitamin C is a place that trying to stay afloat during COVID. Obviously,
that'll be fun.
Yeah, but just cans, no pours, and that's where they make their money. But you go there on the weekend and they have a good amount.
We talked about that last week. The COVID and how it's affecting that. Pours, there's so much gross profit. They must be making $5 a pour more.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. Yep. So, real medium poppy. Go ahead.
So we've got a tremendous, amount of feedback on the show, right? People love beer. Everyone, everyone's interested. We also have a ton of feedback in the kind of the whiskey world, right? So I wanted to bring out 2 options for the boys tonight, so you guys can pick. So first off, I got some Willet Family Estate, extremely hard to get whiskey, and then I got some Poppy Van Winkle right here. We got Old Rip. So what do you guys want to see tonight? Some Old Rip or some Willet?
It's a fucking beer show. This is a beer show.
Beer show, motherfucker.
Put the whiskey down for the whiskey show.
I got beer. I got plenty of beer too.
Beer.
No. So Desk. The official account that we have is called KMS Beer and Spirits, I believe.
Spirits.
Or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Ooh, I didn't know
fuck
that.
you.
What?
Is it brews and spirits?
Yeah, it's
Fuck outta
Brews
here.
KMS Brews and Spirits. It's on,
Follow the main account before you take shots.
yeah, follow the account on
Shit.
Twitter.
I do. It's
I
KMS
disavow
Brews.
that.
You
I've
know,
never
it's-
heard that either.
Copy for copy tonight, boys. So.
Yeah.
All right,
I-
your choice, Poppy. Go with whatever
I
you
would go.
like.
Yeah, go with the ORVW. And Inspector J, you've been blocked. That's why you haven't seen it.
Oh, is this another private thread?
Yeah.
Okay.
The 14th. Oh, there you go. While he's pouring that, I'll show. I'm doing a robot hoss. I went to Long Live Beer Works this weekend. They had actually a very nice weekend, and I got one of their growlers. It was $9 with the glass. It's not too bad.
It's not bad at all.
Yeah, I got 2 4-packs of a 9.2% pastry stout, peanut butter bites, at coconut, peanut butter coffee, and peanut butter. It's fucking awesome. So smooth, little sweetness,
that.
and then I got a 4-pack of their All Seeing Eye double IPA too. So
Peanut
Wasn't
butter
it,
beers. I love
called
peanut butter.
Square Bites, wasn't it?
peanut butter bites, yeah, it's so
No,
so
Square
good.
Bites, wasn't it?
I'm sorry, yeah, Square Bites,
Yeah,
something
okay.
like that.
All right.
Yeah, so Poppy, let me see that whiskey.
Right here.
It's got his Glenlivet glass.
Exactly, yeah.
So
It's bourbon.
this stuff is hard to find, right? And
Yeah, that
So,
only gets dropped
bourbon.
once a year.
I'm actually excited to tell a story about that, Jay. So the way that I got this bottle right here, this bottle of Pappy Van Winkle, this is their Old Rip Van Winkle, so it's their 10-year whiskey. And the way that I got it, it was like the holiday season 2 years ago. I went to a store. I drove out. I got on the Pike. I went out to Springfield and went to a store called like 44 Liquors. And what they did, as a lot of people know, allocated whiskey like Pappy and that kind of stuff is hard to get. So what they did is they held an event. So the first 25 people that got there in the morning, they could buy 4 raffle balls, right? So it was 25 people times 4, so 100 spots. They had 2 sets of balls, and they did like a raffle, right? So they put a bunch of branded balls in these different brown bags with the bottles of whiskey, and if your number hit, you got the chance to buy it at retail instead of the exorbitant secondary prices. So it was really cool. I got to donate. We all got to donate about $3,000 or $4,000 to a puppy shelter or a dog shelter in the Springfield area. So we got to buy whiskey at good prices, donate a bunch of money to dogs and a pound that really needed it, and do it in a kind of fair way. You see a lot of stores kind of gouging with the nice whiskey, but it was awesome to see a cool store raising money for a good cause and then giving people a fair shot at getting it. So that was a lot of fun.
I
And
like
if you guys want to get it without having to do all that work, I know a store on the Cape that has it all the time because it's so if anyone wants it, DM me and I'll tell you where you can get
At a fair price?
Very
Honest.
fair.
Come on,
I swear.
I'll take the name.
right.
Yeah, because then what'd you pay? Like $100 for that? Was that retail or 70?
Yeah, $99.99 was retail, but
Yeah,
secondary is $4.50. So
Yeah, $4.50. Yeah.
well, most people hate the Cape. That's why it's available down there.
No, but yeah, I love it when stores do that. They do it around here. And there's one store in Providence called High Spirits that just on Instagram says, all right, we have it available. And that's it. Regular pricing. It's crazy that they do it. It happens every November, and I always miss it. But yeah, you got some fucking good whiskey right there. Nice Poppy.
We're going
Right.
way off topic, but there's one thing that I want to do is I want to try they sell the white lightning, they call it, and then you can age it yourself. So they will sell you what it it's a clear liquid before they put it into the barrels, and it's dirt cheap, and then you can then age it yourself. It's a pretty cool thing. I have a buddy that lives down in Kentucky that I work with, and he keeps trying to get me to do it. I just don't have the time or the barrels to do it, but he does it every few years, and he makes it himself. So he gets the white lightning, and then he puts it in his own barrels and ages it himself.
That's pretty cool. I'd like to do that.
that is cool.
Yeah. So moving on, we're going to do a couple topics today. Inspector J, you had a little experience. It sounded like a bad day. Tell us about it.
No, not a bad day, but recently there was an article about the top, 20 underrated breweries in the whole country. 2 of them were in Massachusetts. So Idle Hands, I think, was one in Everett. The second one, Percival Brewing in Norwood, which is a few towns over from me. So my daughter just turned 21 and she went to Castle Island for her first beer. And then we decided to go out today with my brother and my wife. Nice place, nice people. I just was not that impressed with the beer. I ended up with an orange wheat beer, which is not something I would normally drink, but it was good. The pale ale and some of the others I didn't care for. Some good Mexican food from a local restaurant. Again, nice location, nice people. Just didn't really do it for me.
So your daughter's into craft beer?
No, she literally turned 21 a week ago or so. Yeah. So no, she's not a boozer yet. Hopefully not. But no, I think I told you guys on the side. So we went to a liquor store. They didn't even card her, and she was pissed off. Like, do I really look that old? So she got Pink Whitney. She got yeah, she got a Truly lemonade pack maybe, and then funny, it sounds like Mutt from Eating the Eye. She's drinking some kind of mule. It's ginger beer, not a Moscow mule, but one of those.
Kentucky Mule, maybe.
Yeah, maybe Kentucky Mule. Yeah. So we picked up. Yeah, so we picked up some ginger beer and whatever you mix it with. So, but she's like,
sounds like a real lush already. Jesus
so
Christ.
Disappointing. Well, she takes after her dad, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel bad for people that turn 21. Like Phil in Discord just turned 21 over the summer, and I remember my 21st birthday. I looked forward to it for so long. I remember I went right to the closest store in my house, bought some alcohol, and went out and partied all night long at the bars. Had a great time. All these people are turning 21 during COVID. They don't get that experience. That sucks. I mean, like, we always forget about all these people like that, that missed their prom, missed graduation, but missing your 21st birthday sucks. I mean, that was such an iconic night. I mean, I walked through Cleveland Circle the next morning in my boxers, sneakers, and a t-shirt because I threw up all over myself. And it's like back to my car. So I feel bad for people that turned 21 during this that didn't have the same experience that a lot of us had.
More so than one night, there's a whole class of kids that missed their entire senior year of high school,
Yeah.
Like everyone's suffering like crazy. Yeah.
No, I had a major birthday in the middle of this. Yeah, I feel bad. Kids that graduated from high school or college. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want my daughter walking through, in her underwear like Kim did, but he hit it pretty hard in college, I heard. So
we'll take some pictures of your daughter. Just kidding. So moving on.
By the way, did Jay say a major birthday? Like, what are you talking about? What's major? What's important?
One of the big zeros. One of the big zeros.
Three-quarters of a century,
50,
buddy.
After 50, birthdays are important.
I never said they were important.
You said it was major. You said it was bigger than important.
Listen, every birthday.
It's a milestone. Milestone.
I'll send you a card. I'm sorry.
Hey, no, you're gonna look for that harpoon for me, so that's fine.
I will do that.
Yeah, thanks.
If you want to keep following this chat, going off topic in Discord after the show.
Oh, you chastised me for turning it into Discord last week. So, you know what my favorite line is? I know we're getting off the rails again. CBM will come in here. Yeah, we don't talk any bullshit, but yeah, we're gonna talk some bullshit in here.
It's like a Kirk line. It's like, he's a great guy, but he's a fucking asshole.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry.
All right, Kirk's desk. So I want to ask you, we brought up maybe some beer trips.
Yeah.
Now that we're talking about what's going on with COVID, what would your dream beer trip be? Let's say a year from now, when hopefully everything is clear and you can do whatever you want.
Well, I've already done my dream beer trip, I think. I went to Belgium back like 10 years ago now, before actually, I went into Driefontein and Canyon, and really there's nobody there. And I spent the entire afternoon at Driefontein with Armand and my wife, and we sat there, drank beer, ate food, and just chatted the entire afternoon, and nobody else came in. So that's my dream to go back and do that again. But every year, I've been going in the fall to Vermont with my father for the past few years, and so like I was thinking about it, drinking this beer. I need to get back next month to do that again. It's like for my own sanity to get out there, and I won't be able to go to all the breweries that I'd like to go to because I think they're not going to be open, of course, to drink. But just to get out there, drive into Vermont, do New Hampshire first, and drink some great beers and bring them home is what I need to do that again.
Yeah, I agree. It's so cerebral going to Vermont. It's just the best place. I went there for my honeymoon with my wife. Can't believe she wanted to go. She loves craft beer, but she's not huge into it like me. But it's just the best. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Best beer. Food is amazing. Just the scenery, everything, the hiking.
The foliage too. The foliage is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, we went early September. That's when we usually go, or like around April. So I try to go twice a year. So even though there's so many other things to do, I would say that Vermont is just one I would always go back to. So I completely agree. What about you guys? What about you, Kim? Anything you want to do?
So with my job, I travel all the time. Like I travel, I don't know, 80% of the year. So normally when I'm traveling for work, I'll just hit wherever, whatever the local spots are, if I'm, on the West Coast or Nevada, whatever. But what I miss the most is just having to, do my, overnights down in Connecticut, because a lot of the events that, we have at breweries. And over the past, 4 or 5 years, we've had some type of sales event at some brewery down in Connecticut. And I just miss doing that. I mean, we do it in upstate New York and Vermont and everywhere else, but I just really miss the ones down in Connecticut. There's a lot of these small places that I'd never tried before, like Hog River, that, you find these hole in the walls that end up having, a great beer that you like. And I just miss that. I don't need to necessarily plan a huge trip to go up to Vermont or Maine or even over to Europe. I just miss that every, once a week going down to Connecticut, having an event somewhere, getting some beer, bringing some beer back. That's what I miss the most about this stuff. That's what I'm looking forward to doing once COVID's over.
Did you ever hit one that's like a military themed one down there? I don't remember the name of it, but
no, that one I have not.
Okay, I've had some of their stuff because 3 of my family members were in the military, but I don't recall the name of it.
I want to go to New Park, Connecticut. That's one of the ones I haven't been to that I really want to.
I was going to say that I've heard amazing things about their blender series.
I've had it. I've had them through trades or razzles, whatever, and it's fucking awesome. So,
how about Two Roads, Kim? Had you been there?
I've been there a million times. We've had events. They're building 2 is where they like to have a lot of the events. They actually probably have the best setup for any type of event where you want to bring people in. But there's a ton of them, like Kingsman in Southington. They have they have pizza that they make on site that's fantastic. If you like, coal fire or stone fire pizza. But there's so many small places in Connecticut that have set up specifically to have events. Two Roads is probably the best though out of all of them for large events for the breweries down there.
Is Two Roads? They used to be more just contract. Are they doing more of their own stuff now? Or I mean, you guys mentioned that multiple times, and
they got like $9 million at the time. Was the largest like angel investment that any brewery had ever gotten, and they were going to be a contract brewery. And at the time, Rosemary Baby was huge for them. Their IPA, which I'm having a mental block right this second.
Ruin something.
Road to Ruin.
Road to
Ruin. But their Oktoberfest is fantastic, and they make Sip of Sunshine now. All the Sip of Sunshine in cans is made by them.
All of it, yeah.
They do. They make them.
Goes down there and he brews it like once a month or something.
The Maple Facein is made by them down there too. I mean, they do a fantastic job. They have awesome sours that they make in Building 2, and that's why they built Building 2 to begin with, was so they could have their sours off site, so they wouldn't reinfect any of the beers that they had at the other building. So they do a great job. A lot of people see them as big beer, and they look down on them. I think they do a fantastic job. They contract beer for a lot of people. It's like Dorchester Brewing. They do a lot of contract brewing for people too, and some people shit on them. And Omnipolo NOA is one of my favorite stouts. They brew that at Dorchester Brewing. So a lot of these guys who do contract brewing do a fantastic job. It's just they get shit on because people think that they're big beer or just contract brewers. It's a bad take.
You guys remember the brewery Pretty Things? They never had them. Me too. And they're down. Yeah. That's all they did was go to different breweries and just brew. That's what they would do. They never had their own.
Yeah. He has his own great brewery. Oh, well, no, it's great. I haven't been there, but he has his own brewery now in England again called St. Mars of the Desert. And they're brewing a lot of the same beers that they brewed here in the United States, but obviously different ones as well. I love them.
Yeah, those breweries are kind of cool. maybe we should look some of those up for next week and bring them up. I think it's such a unique thing to just like not really have your own brewery. You just kind of go around and you pay, a brewery to use their stuff. That's a pretty cool idea.
There's actually a term for it. It's called nomadic brewing.
Okay.
So there's a big brewery kind of out of New York City called Grimm, Grimm.
Yeah.
So Grimm for a long time was strictly a nomadic brewery, right? So they would go from facility to facility, brew a batch and release it, have a canning machine. If the brewery didn't have a built-in canning machine, what a lot of breweries do, breweries you wouldn't even expect, they basically pay a canning company to come in and can the beer.
Ironheart.
Yes.
Yes.
So Grimm finally built their own tap room and brewery maybe 4, 5, 6 months ago, but it's actually not that uncommon. A lot of people do the kind of nomadic thing until they get enough money to buy their own space and stuff.
Grimm did some good sours back in the day. I remember Grimm did some great sours.
They had a whole pop series. It was a bottled sour that had like, apricot, all different kind of crazy ingredients. It was delicious.
Their IPAs are good too. That's a really good brewery. Good call out. What about you, Poppy? You got a trip you're going to take the kids to? Maybe out to the Cape again? Devil's Purse.
I've had Devil's Purse, so yeah, I'm lucky. This summer I've had a lot of chances to cruise around and hit different breweries in different areas. But yeah, I'm always looking for good stuff. I think the next place I'm gonna hit is gonna be Fox Farm. Has anybody here had Fox Farm?
No.
I've had their beer.
They're in Connecticut. I go to Ormsby Abbey a lot, which is like my local bar in Worcester. So every single year they have a festival called the Stout Fest. They couldn't do it this year, obviously, but there's typically a head brewer. So last year that I was there, Fox Farm was the head brewer. We had a bunch of like curated stouts that I was really impressed by. So I think I'm gonna check out Fox Farm for the next brewery trip.
Is that one closer to Rhode Island too? Like that part?
I think it's in the middle of Connecticut. I think it's in like central Connecticut.
Yeah, I picture their cans in my head. They're just white with the writing on it. Not much to it. But what about you, Jay? Taking the family anywhere? Where are you taking me? Where are we going?
My brother and I have been talking about. We went there quite a while ago, and I was not that happy with it. It was originally Buzzards Bay Brewing. Then it switched because some litigation with the name, and I guess it's back to Buzzards Bay.
Westport?
So yeah, in Westport, yeah. So they have a winery. I guess that's where they make all their money, and the beer is kind of a hobby, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But their latest IPA had gotten some really good reviews. We have some relatives down there, and they have like a barbecue truck that comes in on certain days. So that may be then the next one. During COVID, I'm acquiring tons of vacation, so hopefully, maybe back to Asheville again, or my brother has a friend out in the Detroit area, like Grand Rapids. I think is a big area for breweries, so maybe something out that way.
I'd like to go there too. Actually, I've had a ton of Michigan, Ohio beers, and none of them ever blew me away. You guys have had the same thing. Like I used to.
I have people that are very close to me who live in Ohio, and so I've been going there for years. And I used to go to Great Lakes. I was in the Cleveland area, going to Great Lakes and Fatheads and.
Sure.
And so they were decent, decent beers. And then I'd go there. I'm like, geez, that's nothing that was like standing out fantastic at all. And but now they've kicked it up a notch, really. I think recently in Ohio, I really love Columbus Brewing. They make a fantastic IPAs. I keep saying fantastic on this show.
Yeah, right. No worries. Yeah.
Jesus.
Great word.
Damn it.
They make a Bodhi and Creeper, which are really good IPAs. So there are some. Ohio is really, I think they've really stepped it up recently. People really like Hoof Hearted. I've never been a big fan of Hoof Hearted. I thought it was a little overhyped at the beginning, but I think Ohio's really gotten a lot better.
Oh, good.
I think Grand Rapids was actually voted like the top beer city the last time they did one.
So I'll say this. I've been in Grand Rapids for work. It's the cleanest city in the world. I mean, I'm not joking. It is beautiful. It is clean. There's like no trash.
Cleaner than Fall River, really?
It's extremely clean. But
heroin needles everywhere.
I think we talked about this on an earlier episode, maybe the one that got lost. But
The Lost Poppy episode.
but Founders back in the like some of these beers, like Founders is from Grand Rapids. And,
they are?
That's where they put like all the CBS and all the KBS. They put them underground in Grand Rapids when they were aging them. And one of the conversations that Poppy and I had at one of the first shows was when some of these breweries go to scale and they get bigger, they fuck up their beers. And I think Founders did that in their beers have gotten terrible. And I remember the first time I had KBS. I remember the first time I had CBS. But way before, if there's through trades, it went to scale, and those beers were 1,000 times better than they are, what you're getting off the shelf today.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's because I've just had better stouts over the years. I really think it's because these guys went big, just like Bourbon County. That's gone down over the years, and I don't think that has anything to do with them, losing the recipe or screwing it up. When they go to scale, when they try to mass produce, it screws things up because the ratios don't match up to what they originally thought, what they originally planned the beer to do, and it just gets screwed up. So Founders, I'd like to check out their place. It's one of the few that I've never been to, even when I went to Grand Rapids. I'd still like to check it out because they are one of the OGs, or you'd say, them.
Disavow.
I like Founders a lot still. I would say they've definitely gone. But their breakfast stout still tastes just as great to me. I think they did a nice job at
the breakfast stout tastes the same in my opinion, but I also think that's probably because we had it when it was being mass produced, so we don't remember what it was prior to that, like with KBS and CBS. Because I'll never forget when CBS became mass produced and came to Massachusetts, and I thought to myself, "Oh, great! I don't have to friggin' trade, my treehouse, to some idiot in Michigan." And the first time I had it, I was like, "Oh my god, this does not taste the same that I had."
Well, it was sitting on shelves for $25, like everywhere. It seemed like BJ's, every liquor store at CBS. Go ahead, Poppy. Your hands raised.
So I have one question, right? So
Floor is yours.
As we all know, the trends kind of come out way before, right? So we've already done the Oktoberfest beers like 2 episodes ago, and we're not even in October yet. So when you guys think about the next couple months, Thanksgiving and Christmas, what beers are you guys looking forward to coming out? Obviously, it's going to come out way before that actual holiday. It's going to probably come out next week if it's Thanksgiving or whatever, or Christmas kind of beers. Personally, I love Sierra Nevada Celebration. It's a great beer. Sometimes it's $12, 12-pack in bottles. Awesome value for me. What are you guys looking forward to for the next coming, seasonal beers?
That's mine. It's
Christmas.
Christmas comes early when that is released for me. That's one of my favorites of all time.
I like Mad Elf.
That's a high ABV.
It's like 13% or something.
Yeah.
Or 11, something like that.
Yeah.
But not Celebration for sure. Celebration's awesome. I like the spiced type of ale, so I like trying that stuff. I think that winter is an awesome time for beer. And Oktoberfest obviously is in September, so that's why it's always out in August. It's not really October.
I mean, while we're on this topic, the seasonal stuff is all effed up in my mind because you go into a store, they still have summer, and then they have fall, and then they have winter still. So like, all right, what season are we in? I'm not going to touch the summer stuff, which is out of date already. So, I don't think the breweries do a good have a good plan to kind of space things out without overlapping everything.
You guys remember Sam Adams changed their spring beer a ton of times? They've always had summer. They've always had Oktoberfest. Then spring used to be Noble Pills. It was a white ale before that. And I forgot what it is now.
I forgot the name. What is it now? It's like,
you guys remember? It's some kind of almost wit beer, sort of. But light.
Noble Pills was one of my favorites.
That kind of pissed me off that they were doing that. I don't know why. Maybe it was not cost effective because that was a very good beer.
They changed the winter beer. They kept the name, but they changed the recipe like 5 times in like 7 years. And I remember because I knew somebody that worked there, and they freely admitted it when you went on a tour. They were always trying to tweak it to make it better.
Sure.
But yeah, they're always changing things. The only thing they never changed was the Sam Summer, which would give you heartburn after like 2 of them.
Oh yeah, Sam Summer's terrible.
I like it.
Do you really?
I'll try it every once in a while in a mixed pack, but yeah, it's
So-
not my
But-
favorite. I actually like the Porch Rocker better.
So, Des, what about Maine beers? What are you looking forward to for the holidays?
Jesus. I don't know. I used to, Allagash used to have this thing on Black Friday when they used to do the tasters only, free tasters. They would have Black Friday. So they'd have all of their different dark beers on for sample. And so the one that I really like the most, which comes out in the winter, is St. Klippenstein. So that is a dark stout. It's a stout as well from them. It's great. I just really look forward to the winter stouts. Oh yeah, the other one is Austin Street Brewery has a coffee milk stout called 6 Grain with coffee. And I love coffee, but I can't drink coffee unless it's in actual beer. It's the caffeine just fucks with me. So if so I love that beer. So I'm ready for that one to come back. And that's the big thing. The winter stouts, the milk stouts with coffee. That's what I love in the winter.
Narragansett does a pretty good coffee milk stout. The
I've heard
autocrat.
that one. Yeah, I've heard that one. I've never
Actually
had
pretty
it.
good. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
What's it called again?
Narragansett autocrat coffee milk stout.
Oh, it's
Comes
made
out-
with that coffee syrup. I drank
Yeah.
that as a kid. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Autocrat is the official coffee. So Rhode Island has coffee milk, whatever, and Autocrat's the official syrup.
Yep.
Yeah, I used to pour it in milk as a
It's
kid.
delicious.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
is.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't believe it hasn't taken the country by storm. Maybe we should.
So good for
Little
you
business.
too. Like
Oh, yeah.
Fluffernutter. Yes.
Oh, sure. Yeah. All right, guys. We're coming up about a half an hour. I think we're at some good time. Cheers. Thank you for joining KMS Brews. Until next time.